recently Dutch has told the story about when he went to WCW. He talked to Jim Herd, and then they gave him a start date, and then basically took away the start date, and they wouldn't let him start, essentially, until Dutch drafted a legal letter to WCW and Jim Herd, threatening to sue them if they didn't hire him and start him on the road immediately. Is that right, Dutch? Have I told that right?
Yeah, that's right. You ever heard that story, Kevin?
Oh, I love it.
Well, I got a start date, and then the start date come, and I didn't hear anything about it, and I called and couldn't get a hold of anybody, and then called, and it was like 2 weeks after the start date. Finally, I get Herd on the phone, and I says, "Hey, I had a date to start on so and so date, and nobody told me nothing. Nobody booked me. Nobody sent me up. Nobody told me anything. Am I starting?" He said, "Well, that's not my department." I said, "Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to go see an attorney, and you're going to be served a letter. And if I don't start, I'm gonna sue you guys." So I went to the lawyer, paid him $50. He wanted 100. I got him down to 50, and we sent him a letter and says, I'm going to sue you guys for like the attorney came up with some term, and he booked me over the phone. He said, "All right, you start whenever, like next Monday," and he gave me a date, and that's how I started there. Stayed there 2 years, but they wasn't even going to start me. So when Herd was there, I found it was totally out of control. When you were there, when Ole, who did you like booking better than anybody else? Dusty, Ole, or Ric Flair? A hard decision. Hard decision.
Yeah, Dusty, because here's something. If it was a real good angle, Dusty was going to say, "That's pretty good. Maybe I'll use it later." But it wasn't going to be with you and him.
Yeah.
He was going to use it with somebody else, and he was going to use that angle with him, and he's working with.
But you'll see Ole when he got the Road Warriors on time. All of a sudden, it gets hot. He puts himself in a 6-man on Starcade. He's going, or the Rock and Roll Express. He's in there with them too. He will stick himself right in there. But he did have a lot of success there, though. He did do that. What was it like there? What was your favorite angle in WCW?
I think my
favorite, whether you were in it or not.
I think that was when I had no one ever turn on me except Billy Superstar Graham.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we needed a draw because we were outnumbered now. And we needed a charismatic babyface because he was replacing Dusty. He had gone up to Charlotte. And we did this thing where the owner of Little Hart was with me. I was out on the floor, and a guy took a bump to the floor, and I went to slap the guy, and he grabbed my hand. Superstar grabbed my hand, and he held my hand up, and I went to hit him again, and he froze it up again. Well, it didn't work. I went to do it again, and Billy's giant arms stopped me. And at that time, Humperdinck came up behind him, who was my manager. I had a host. I had more people than in Gone with the Wind. He came and threw a chair and distracted Billy. And Billy turned and chased me down. I grabbed the chair and I threw it. And it spun. And it spun. When it hit him, it split and hardweight him. And they played it back and back and back. And it was obviously a hardway, people. Mm-hmm. So we really did well with it. And it was because of Billy.